Hi everyone, my name is Adam, and in this video I'm going to show you what it's like to put together one of these pre-cut sheds from Home Depot. Now, in some of the parking lots they'll have a variety of sheds, different sizes. This is the one I'm building. It's the Princeton 10 by 10. Now, it's not a complete tutorial. I'm just showing you my experience and what I would do different, maybe some mistakes I made, and things I wasn't exactly prepared for. So I'm taking a look at the shed now. This is before I built mine, and I can see these pieces of wood were not included with the kit. I'll tell you a bit more about that later. This shed has two very wide doors, and they're secured with this pin here. I think they should supply a few more to lock the doors a little bit more securely. You can see there isn't one at the top. I would buy another one and put it at the top. And at the end of building this, the only thing I found really lacking was some gable vents. I'll tell you more about that later as well. As this says, the floor is not painted, it's going to come raw. And here's a list of things you're going to need to get on your own. All roofing material, paint, wood floor decking. Now that means everything underneath the foundation of the shed, caulk and nails. Here's a look at the back of the shed. You can see that the shingles overhang just a bit, and it's a really simple design. Okay, so here's what I'm starting with. I'm building this shed for a person who bought this kit secondhand. The original purchaser got into it and immediately quit, so there's really no work has been done on this at all, and it was delivered to me just like this. So if you're building this by yourself and you really have no construction experience, do yourself a favor and find a friend who's got some experience framing. It's going to help you a ton. You do need a framing nailer and a compressor. So the first thing I did is separated all the pieces of wood by length and style and shape. You can see the side pieces there, the subflooring there. And I assume when you get this shipped to you, it's going to be somewhat separated. I don't think it's going to be in a pile like I got it. So here's the spot I'm going to start building on. It's just sand. Now, it's not the foundation I would use. I would use cement blocks underneath, but that's what this customer wanted. So the first thing we did was put down some pressure treated 4x4s that run the length. There's 4 of them underneath here. So remember, nothing for the foundation is included with this kit. So the owner purchased some 4x4 pressure treated lumber, and we ran those underneath sitting on the sand. Now again, I would use some foundation blocks myself, but this is what he wanted. Now I know I don't show everything in the video, but make sure you spend a lot of time getting the foundation perfect. You want to make sure that you're using string levels and everything's nice and clean and straight, and also that nothing's going to sink later on. The last thing you want is a corner of your shed to start sinking down because you didn't use a good foundation. And then the flooring frame is built in 2 sections. You can see the back one here is attached to this one in the front. The next step is the subfloor, and you can see it's got a little bit of an overhang, so there is some cutting involved. It's not a no-cut build. Alright, so the subfloor is down, and this is the framing nailer we used. Now, I would never build this shed without one. It will save you so much time, and it's impossible, I think, to do this by hand. You're going to be banging nails, and what happens if you're using just a hammer and nails, parts are going to shift while you hit them. But if you're using a framing nailer, it instantly attaches the 2 pieces of wood when you're holding it. So please do yourself a favor and find a friend with one, and or just buy one. You will thank yourself. Okay, so now that the subfloor is done, the next step in the directions they have you do is put together a jig so you can assemble the rafters at the right angle. So first you snap a chalk line, and then you screw down these 4 pieces of wood, and that helps lock the pre-cut rafters in place. So to attach these rafters together, they have you sandwich them with these 2 cutouts and wood glue, and then secured together on both sides with screws. All this is done while it's locked in the jig. That way you make sure you have the exact same angle on all pieces. Alright, the next step in the directions is the back wall, and it's made with 2x3s. All the walls are framed with 2x3s. You can see you have 2 beams running up the length, 1 beam going straight across, and these 2 attached from the top and the bottom. Now taking a look at the directions, you can see how you're supposed to nail it. 6 inches apart all the way down. So when you are nailing, you're going to want to snap a chalk line because it'll be easy to miss the beam underneath. So I attached 2 sheets of paneling to the back wall. It's not wide enough, so you're going to make these extensions. And you can see on these you screw them in from the back. So I'll lift it up and you can see what it looks like. You can see here how it's attached. And you're going to make 3 others, so that's 4 total. Once you built those, you nail those to the same frame. A couple nails all the way down, 6 inches apart. Now this is very shaky and wobbly. You don't want to move this around too much, so you are going to need help moving these pieces. You can't really do this by yourself. If you do, you can tweak it too much and parts will come loose. Now here's a look at the front of the shed. This is the framing. You got 2 pieces going up, one across and one at the top. Now the paneling's been laid down and the side piece is attached. So this is the full width. And here's a look at the side walls, how they're made. You're going to have this piece of chipboard for the base. Some studs running up the length. Again, these are just 2x3s. And they're fairly far apart. Now here's one spot that I did make a mistake. Not really a big deal, but this piece of wood here should be flipped around to the other side so that that prime part is facing down. Okay, now the back wall can go up. You attach it with nails along the bottom and toenail it in each one of these support beams. And the side pieces go in kind of the same way. It's really easy. Just follow the directions and you just attach the walls to each other. Not much explanation is really needed. Here's a close-up look at my mistake there. You can see that's the exposed chipboard. It should be flipped around. Again, not a big deal. You can just prime it again yourself, but to do it right, flip that piece around. Now skip ahead and you space out the rafters. You're going to need help with these parts as well. And they're toenailed in. It started raining on us here, so we're trying to work really quickly. Now a quick note on the roofing material. You see this sheet of chipboard up there. You're going to secure that with 2 nails on one edge, and that allows you to push up or pull down the other edge of the board so that it's straight. It's going to take you a little while to make sure everything's nice and straight up there, but just look at the directions. It'll give you more explanation on how to do that. And again, don't do this by hand. Save yourself a lot of work and get a nailer. So after the roof, you can throw the doors on, and they come just like you see here. They got a hinge already attached on one side and the frame around it is already put on. This framing material was a little bit loose, so we threw on some more screws to keep it a little more secured. Also, this beam is not part of the shed, so we put one on this side and on the other side as well, just a 2x4. That helps strengthen the whole thing. I found it makes it a bit more rigid. Now after that, it's time for the roofing. Now remember, this is not included in the kit, so you're going to need to buy some shingles, some tar paper for the underlayment, and also some roofing nails. So here's a look at the tools you're going to need for putting on the roof. You're going to need a chalk line, and this is a hammer stapler. I don't know what it's really called. That's what I call it. You're going to need a hammer and some roofing nails. These are special galvanized nails. They're not going to rust on you. And you're going to need a utility knife. Okay, so when it comes to roofing, I'm sure there's other videos on YouTube that are much better than this one, but here's just a quick explanation of how you do it. So you're going to roll out a strip along the bottom edge of the roof and then staple it down with your hammer stapler, and also another roll. And I have mine just barely going over the top edge. Then on the other side, you do the same thing from the bottom, and then you do another one. So the whole roof is covered in that paper. So when you start the shingles, you're going to have it overhang both edges and the bottom edge. So all sides. Also, this shingle, if you look, is flipped around facing the wrong way, and that's how the first row goes. Then you add on top of that a second row facing the right way. You see these tabs are pointing down. So that's 2 rows of shingles at the very bottom. After that, it's kind of easy. You just snap chalk lines, make sure you're still going straight and aligned, and then you're going to stagger the tiles to make sure the seams aren't right on top of each other, so the next row is kind of offset a bit. All right, here's a look at how I did the cap. Now, there might be better ways. I'm not a roofer. This is the second or third time I've done a roof in my life. And I just cut the tabs off of some of these shingles, cut them at a little angle there on the edges, and you nail it down with 2 nails. I started from both sides and worked my way to the middle. Anyway, here's a look at the finished shed. Now it's not primed, it really needs to be primed and painted. So again, you notice that this is not a full tutorial. I'm just giving you an idea of what's going to be involved if you're going to take this project on yourself. And again, this shed is missing some vents at the top. It gets incredibly hot inside here and it is not acceptable. There really should be some vents included. So I went to the roofing section, got a couple vents and just put them on, cut out a little rectangle, put them on there. I left the center beam in place, so I just danced around it and it works great. Just did a little bit of caulking, put the vent on, and it allows the air to flow so it's not, 130 degrees inside. So if you have no construction experience, I think this project might be a bit difficult for you. Get a friend, somebody who knows a bit about construction, especially if they've done any framing. It's going to be a massive help to you. So again, subscribe, comment, rate. If you want to support this channel, you can send a donation through the support button. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope it's been helpful. That was my goal, just to give you an idea of what to anticipate. Anyway, have an awesome day.